This is maybe one of the most uniquely feature-packed RVs I've ever seen, and it's all wrapped up into a 4,000-pound package. Hey everybody, Josh RV Nerd with Bish's RV down here with the new 165VIEW. So this View series that you originally saw from Salem and Wildwood, it's expanding through the rest of their family like FSX, also Heritage Glen, Hemisphere, all those kind of things. And this is maybe one of the most, like I said, feature-packed, unique little campers I've ever seen before. So there's a lot of people who have been asking, instead of a dinette or a sofa, like, can we get some chairs that like spin around and give me like a little bar function? Well, they did that, but the bar could also fold down out of the way so it doesn't feel quite so bulky and intrusive into the RV. For a little camper, it's got a really good rear kitchen on the back of this thing, and the whole concept of the View series is maximize window coverage where you want it, over on the camp side of the RV, and it is delivering on that name. Now, the View series will standardize and basically force their platinum fiberglass package, which helps because it also tints the windows, which helps keep a lot of that sunshine out there, because that's one of the very few downsides of mega window coverage. You end up with mega sun coverage as well. You also get standard forced 200 watts of solar on this with a 30 amp controller in case you want to expand on that a little bit. But what's great is those swivel chairs face straight at an entertainment center that you're right on top of. But hidden behind that, in a slide that you almost don't even realize is there, is a hidden multi-function room where it could be a couple bunks, it could be an office desk space, a craft room, you could use it for like a dog kennel or just extra generic storage, and creating solutions that have never really existed in the RV industry before. What's also really great about this, it's a small, lightweight, single axle that, you know, like mid-size tow package pickup towable that actually has things like a private bedroom and a private bathroom. And they use a miniature ducted air system to make sure all of the RV stays cool and comfortable. In a little space like this, I think it'll be pretty darn effective. Really, one of the only downsides this is just being a single axle. You just have to contend with the more limited cargo carrying capacity. But again, opening up this View concept with the whole hidden like bonus room to smaller tow vehicles for folks that normally wouldn't be able to handle one of the bigger Views, I'm really excited to see what you think about this. I really think the big windows and the light bright color palette worked very well in here, because overall it is a small space. But I mean, they're really packing a lot of feature into this, and there are some aspects of this, like those swivel barrel chairs. It almost gives me some of the vibes that, like, some things that Lance does. Now, I'm not saying this is an equivalent product to a Lance. I'm not trying to draw that comparison. I'm just saying there's some floor plan elements here that kind of overlap nicely. I also want to mention that giant flat screen TV we were looking at. That is here for display purposes only. These do not include a factory TV. They also obviously don't include any sort of heat ducting in the floor, although they do have, you know, heat ducted through the RV. And since you do have some private bedroom bathroom space, they do put a miniature ducted air system on this so that you're not like sweating to the oldies like Richard Simmons in here. So we're facing the back of the RV right now, and it's kind of important to note, like, you know, that's sort of your kitchen cooking area in a way. Your entertainment kind of doubles as a prep space. And I know that sounds weird, but when you're in a small single axle camper, sometimes you just got to do weird. You got to deal with weird. And one of the areas where I think this RV brand has been and continues to stay ahead of the curve, they were one of the first to kind of say, we don't need speakers and wires built into the RV. They include that portable Bluetooth speaker, and the mount that it's attached to has some USB plugs, but it also charges that speaker, so it's like super multi-function. And in a small space like this, they just didn't have the room really for a traditional oven and microwave. So what you see right there is where they have the microwave down kind of like in oven position, but it is an air fryer kind of microwave oven, so you can still do a little bit of baking there. So again, everything in this RV kind of overlaps and serves multiple different purposes, you know, all at one time in one RV. We're going to get to see all the different functions this thing has in a second. I also want to point out, I think it's really smart how they included those outlets over there in case you're going to use that, like a little bit of a laptop warrior desk space. And again, straight across from these chairs, you have yourself just an, if you choose to add a TV, an awesome entertainment center. And I really like how they go with the white accent lighting instead of the Jedi neon Labatt blue lighting right there. And you might notice slide floor kind of, you know, glides, the slide out glides above the main floor a little bit. That's because there's actually a wheel well down there. It doesn't really create any sort of like toe stub or step issues on this one. And you can see that there's a little latch there, but you know, there is a little bit of a step up into that private multi-function kind of, I don't know, hidden bonus room, whether we're going to call it a bunk room, an office, because that's the thing, that little flip-up desk, that could work as a little laptop warrior station, but that, you're going to see in just a minute, can fold up out of the way, and that could actually create a private office, and I believe this RV is actually shipping with its own little office roller chair, just like the 163 Wildwood FSX that also has its own little desk and office space. I think that they're doing some similar things there. And again, the whole concept of the View series, maximum windows and camping experience wherever you could possibly find it and enjoy it. Now, looking at the storage here, these overhead cabinets don't have any kind of strut, so kind of keep that in mind. But thankfully, you don't have to reach up too high to get to them. Those barrel chairs, once again, can swivel around and face out the mega window, which is cool, because instead of a fixed sofa where only your back is to the window, they actually let you look out the window on this one. Now, you might have noticed that refrigerator door can flip-flop either way, and solid surface countertops through this entire View series, which is kind of interesting. But then, of course, we get ourselves into that little hidden bunk room right there. And it is two single over single bunks, but the bunks don't have to be there. You don't have to get this if you're looking for a bunkhouse. Or it could be something like, what if you're a single parent or your grandparents and sometimes you have a grandkid? This is a floor plan where you don't have to give up 8 foot of your RV to be able to sleep an occasional sometimes guest. Now, we're in the very first run prototype of this. They do not currently have any sort of air conditioning ducted in there, but that will be resolved, kind of like you saw, if you've seen my other Salem Wildwood View videos, they are going to be custom engineering a dedicated AC duct to get down into that, you know, hidden slide bonus room, basically. But what's interesting is, even though you're not really gaining the extra space of the slide out here, it doesn't really feel tight, even with, like, if somebody was sitting in these chairs, yeah, their legs might be in front of the doorway of the bathroom a little bit, but it doesn't feel like it's anything that's really going to stop you from using the RV. Now, thankfully, you do have nice privacy here with this bathroom, and versus the initial versions of the private single-axle bed and bath floor plans that FSX was coming up with, they have sliding doors now instead of swinging doors, which makes it vastly easier to navigate the RV. Now, because of their roof construction, they had to put the skylight at a little bit of a wonky spot, effectively. And you might notice I actually kind of bumped my head a little bit when I went to stand up there. I'm a little over 6 foot tall. The RV is 6.5 foot from floor to ceiling. But I'm going to commend them on things like adding the extra LED lights in there. There are so many like everyday use simple features and functions that they've added into this that, you know, it provides a cool, different sort of benefit. And it is a full private bathroom. Like, you have your own Lipitorage storage medicine cabinet and everything in here. You have a dedicated bathroom sink, so you don't have to wash your bathroom hands in the kitchen necessarily. And you have a window there, so you can keep an eye on everything and even enjoy the view from the bathroom. Now, it is just a curtain, but they at least did something here so that if you are sitting on the toilet, you don't necessarily completely cut off the camper, which I think is very, very cool. And moving up front here, they actually made this one a twin-to-king vertible bed system. And part of the reason that they did this is because with that hidden bonus room, they were maxed out on size. They were maxed out on what they could possibly do with a single axle. And this allowed them to basically shave 6 inches off the bedroom. Because these beds are not walk-around beds, obviously, but I don't know that you need to walk around these beds. You've also got mega windows on both sides of this. The trick with a twin-to-king vertible bed system like this, though, is that in your bedroom, you definitely have some very limited storage capacity, and I think they did what they could where they could. And there is, you know, some level of outside storage and whatnot, like under the bunk. So that's, you know, repurposed outside since you don't have a full true pass-through. They had to kill the full pass-through because of the dresser drawers that you're about to see in a second. Now, just like we saw above the dinette, you can see right there how you have, you know, some bonus storage above. We have the dresser drawers down below. And then we have the twin-to-king vertible bed system. And I don't really like to do this, but I'm going to have to put you into a little bit of wide-angle lens mode just to kind of, I think, help you get the full understanding and the way that everything kind of lays out and interacts. Now, when you put this into king bed mode, the entire room is a mattress. You are absolutely, unquestionably climbing into the bed when you do that. So you sort of have your choice. Do you go with the two shorter singles? Do you go with the one giant Mega King? And I have a feeling that some people are probably just going to leave it one way or the other. I do think it was kind of a nice little touch, though, how they included these little headboard kind of, not headboard, but yeah, I mean, like, little individual privacy sort of curtains. They only go as far as the overhead cabinet space, but again, it's just those thoughtful, interesting little things that kind of define this one for me. And that slide is vastly deeper than you expect. When it closes up, man, it comes right up next to these barrel chairs. Now, if I start doing a little bit of a sideways twinkle toe travel trailer two-step, I can barely shimmy my way through here. Somebody of my size and stature can do that and can get to the bedroom and bathroom with them closed. I will say, though, it is not easy. It is not super comfortable doing that. To give you an idea, this is me working my way back out of this thing. Like, my, dad bod I got here, barely. I barely fit. So whether you can slip through here or not is really going to depend on your personal stature. But right from the door, the refrigerator, the sink, making a quick travel stop, that's easy. Getting to everything else, not as functional. So this is probably a camper that's best used at a destination, not the most travel stop friendly camper you're going to run into out there. So we are in an active dealer display. We are going to have a couple special guests over here, whether they necessarily realize it or not. Hopefully nobody sees this and wants to sign a modeling release waiver. Anyway, what I'm getting at here, this little thing, we've got about a 5,500-pound GVW. Obviously, the RV itself weighing a little bit over 4,000 pounds. Those weights and measures can be somewhat problematic for some people, depending on where and how they camp. This is never going to be something for everybody. I've yet to find the RV that's something for everybody. And in a lot of cases, this RV's greatest assets are also its greatest liability. But let's start diving into it here. Power tongue jack up front, and with the Platinum package, you get that hard shell propane cover. It is a single propane tank, but also notice you got the Platinum fiberglass package. That's normally optional on the single axle FSX series. That will be forced here on the View series. The reason being, it also tints the windows, and that will help offset some of the solar radiation and the heat that you'll pick up as a result of the giant windows. Now, for towing factors, this is 7.5 foot wide, which means it's really typically not any wider than a vehicle, although I do always recommend tow extension mirrors. It's just an easy safety feature. And they do something right here where it's not a full pass-through. This side is just a little slide-out griddle, and that's just standard. If you don't like it, you can always remove it and have a storage compartment, and maybe just take the griddle somewhere else, because there is a propane cooker hooker below it. And obviously, right there, you've got your portable solar panel mount right there that goes right along with the 200-watt panel that you have up on the roof. Now, I'm trying to move out of the way because I feel like I'm holding up traffic for everybody. Now, obviously, the power awning's not fully extended. We didn't want them to play bumper cars with the awning next door. LED lighting all along the base of the awning, and it's not the world's biggest awning, but that's kind of a result of the fact that, one, it's a small camper, and two, the big window coverage is a little bit problematic for putting big awning coverage on one of these things as well. I do like the hot-cold outside utility shower. Its location is interesting to me. Usually you find these over on what I call, technically speaking, the poop side of the camper. It's right over here, right under the awning area, but I think it might be handy for, like, hosing off the dog or just cleaning your feet off, maybe if you've, been down at the beach or something like that before you go into the RV. Now, down below here, it doesn't look like it anymore, but it is still the sectionalized accessibility. They changed the material of it, but it's still in sectionalized panels, so that if you need to pop part of that enclosed underbelly off for specific localized service reasons, you can do that without needing to drop the entire underbelly, which is cool. Another neat thing on the Platinum series is that it does obviously pick up that window in the door, but one of the things that's less obvious, there is a privacy shade also built right into it. Now, I am obviously right up close and personal here, and everybody's trying to do their business, so I apologize to anybody if I'm in the way. Just a couple observations. Tankless on-demand water heater over here is great. Something I kind of, I'm going to have to ask maybe some kind of engineer if this is going to be an issue. This is our furnace exhaust right behind a spare tire. I'm thinking some safety code guy has already checked on that to make sure that it's not going to be a problem, but I am going to ask the question later. If I find out it's an issue, I'll leave you a little note on the video here. This RV as small as it is, actually still is what I call a two-headed sewer monster, where you've got your kitchen gray outlet in the back, but you've got your bathroom black and gray up front. Unfortunately, just with the axle placement and the way everything laid out with the tanks on this one, it was just kind of how it had to be. It's just the way that this one worked out. They have transitioned away from their Schwintek slides into a Norco Exact slide system. A little bit better service records on those, but you notice that we are still prepped and ready for the slide awnings, if you're so inclined. And when you see this thing over here, it's like the slide looks wonky with like a couple windows, but again, that's going to be part of your airflow for the bunk room. And again, at the time of this filming, they haven't yet added the ventilation into that slide out, but they will be doing that. Now I'm trying to walk over a couple pallets here without twisting an ankle, and just about bit it right there. And again, this RV doesn't have a full traditional pass-through, but I'm not real mad at it, because it does have a big storage bay right over here, and thankfully, it does have magnet holdbacks, so you don't have to constantly hold that sucker open. Obviously, you can keep all the Cheetos and Frito-Lay products in the world packed in there, and it'll do just fine. One last couple little things. I'm an idiot. Front and rear corner stabilizers. Not all single axles have little details like that. Also has a dedicated battery disconnect, and I think I mentioned this earlier. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. I can't remember. It's kind of jarring working around so many people buzzing around you in the background, but up top on the roof, you do have a walkable roof, by the way, and 200 watts of factory solar. So once again, this is brand new. It's my first look at this thing. I want to hear all your comments, good, bad, ugly, and in between. Leave me some notes. Let me know what you think about it. Now, naturally, I'll leave you some links in the video description where you can check for pricing and availability on this. And remember that Salem and Wildwood FSX are literally the exact same thing. They just put a different color sticker on the outside. So that one link may give you floor plans to say Salem or Wildwood, but it's all the same camper, and we have some at one store and some at a different store, basically, is how it works out. And I tell you what, if you like this but you want something like tandem axles a little bigger, take a look at the 24 view. I'll also leave you links to that in the video description, just in case you want to see what else might be out there. And until next time, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.